So, what's this holy man about? Does he exist? Well, death certainly wants to kill him. I suppose it's like characters in a dream. I don't know about you, but I often dream about people that I don't know. Who are these people? Do they have their own lives? Can they die? Is this holy man perhaps something to do with ourselves? Is this holy man perhaps how we truly are? At some level, perhaps we are this holy person, Akasaja, born of space. Vasistha said, "In the Creator there is neither a seer nor an object of perception, yet he is known as self-created. He shines in cosmic consciousness as a painting in the mind of an artist." It turns out that this holy man is actually the Creator. We find this out later on. And this Creator is self-created. There's a constant stream of experiencing going on, and we can't say where it comes from. We can't say what's behind it. Physicists look into it very deeply. They see it in terms of atoms. But this atom, which should be the simplest thing in creation, is actually profoundly complicated. It seems to have opened up a whole can of worms. I don't know if the understanding of the atom is complete. I need to look into that a little bit further, but it seems to me that the more they look into the atom, the more complicated things become. It's like you're not going to get the answer, mate. And in fact, even the scientific understanding of the Big Bang, there was nothing to cause it. It's like an effect without a cause. It was self-created. And I think even the Middle Eastern God, where did God come from? God is self-created. So in the Creator there's neither a seer nor an object of perception. There's neither a perceiver nor something to be perceived. Let's press on. Vasistha continued, "In the Creator there is no memory of the past, since he had no previous karma. He does not even have a physical body. The unborn is of spiritual substance. Mortal beings have two bodies, as it were, one physical and the other spiritual. But the unborn Creator has only the spiritual, since the cause that gives rise to the physical does not exist in him." I wonder if we can talk about the notion of the physical. Remember, we haven't to take these things too literally. So mortal beings have two bodies, as it were, one physical and the other spiritual. It's a way of thinking, and the spiritual challenge is to move from the physical to the spiritual. He was not created, but he is the Creator of all beings. Surely the created, like a bracelet, is of the same substance as that of which it was created, gold. The Creator's thought being the cause of this manifold creation, and the Creator himself having no physical body, the creation too is truly of the nature of thought, without materiality. It's like saying, I suppose, that the nature of a dream is of the same nature as the dreamer. The dream has no, although the dreams seem to be quite independent things, but they're totally dependent on the dreamer. They've got no independent existence. So what this paragraph seems to be saying is that there's no such thing as materiality. A throbbing arose in the creator, whose thought had spread out as the universe. A throbbing arose in the creator. Well, the creator isn't the universe is dynamic. Although we could say that maybe perhaps there's nothing going on at all. So on the one hand there's nothing going on at all, but on the other hand everything is going on. And it says the creator's thoughts spread out as the universe. Well, again, this is that aspect of being which gives rise to the cognitive process and spreads out as the universe. This throb brought into being the subtle body made of intelligence of all beings. Made only of thought, all these beings only appear to be, though they felt that that appearance was real. However, this appearance, thus imagined to be real, produced realistic results or consequences, even as sexual enjoyment in a dream does. Similarly, even the creator, the holy man of the story, though he has no body, appears to have a body. The creator is also of a dual nature, consciousness and thought. Consciousness is pure, thought is subject to confusion. Again, I would suggest that consciousness here is basic awareness, like the attention, and thought is the cognitive process which thinks about things, which tries to make sense of experiencing, categorize it, and builds up relations between the concepts that it brings into being. So the creator is also of a dual nature, consciousness and thought. Consciousness is pure, thought is subject to confusion. Hence he appears to come into being, arise, though he does not so arise. He is the intelligence that supports the entire universe, and every thought that arises in that intelligence gives rise to a form. Though all these forms are of the nature of pure intelligence, on account of self-forgetfulness of this and of the thought of physical forms, they freeze into the physical forms, even as goblins, though formless, are seen to have forms on account of the perceiver's delusion. So I think from this paragraph we get the sense that there is an intelligence at work. There's an intelligence in all sensations and in all forms. And the forms are the form of the intelligence. On account of self-forgetfulness, this thing about self-forgetfulness is really when the attention gets focused on these forms. The attention forgets itself, it gets hijacked into the forms which arose from the cognitive process, and that tends to become our frame of reference. So it says they freeze into the physical forms. The creator, however, is not subject to such delusion. Hence he is always of a spiritual nature, not materialistic. The creator is spiritual, and even so his creation too is in reality spiritual in essence. This creation is causeless. Hence, it is essentially spiritual, even as the Supreme Being, Brahman, is.